Let's talk a little Paul Pogba, Craig. I know you'd like to jump into this big time. This is his difference under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to what he'd achieved under Jose Mourinho. Already more goals under the baby-faced assassin that he had under the special one. So what do you make of it? Are we looking at a different player?
Not really. We're looking at a happier player because his nemesis has gone. Look, everybody's jumping in this Paul Pogba thing at the moment in Man United. And I understand. I do understand because it was so bad. It was so negative at United for quite a while that like anything would have been enough. But I'll keep going back to my point. This is, you know, talk to me again in 6 weeks or 3 months about this because they've just played, you know, Cardiff, Huddersfield, and who did they play? Did they?
Bournemouth.
Cardiff, Huddersfield. So two of the worst teams in the Premier League, as Tottenham proved today again with Cardiff, who are struggling and they haven't got much finances, and Bournemouth, who are probably one of the least formed teams in the Premier League with injuries. I mean, in the last 11 games, including the one against United, they've lost 9. They've lost 9 straight games. They've only won twice against 2 of the poorer teams. So, you know, do I expect Paul Pogba to be bullying those teams that he's playing? I do.
But would he have scored those goals under Jose Mourinho? Had he still been in charge?
No, probably not. Probably not. But he has got more of a freedom. But it doesn't take away from the fact this is Manchester United and one of the world's great midfielders, allegedly, against the poorer teams in the Premier League that are struggling. If you look at the games before that, albeit when Mourinho was there, you know, you had games against Arsenal, you had games against Juve, you had games against Valencia and Liverpool. Those were tougher games. So I think you've got to get I personally think you've got to get a balance here.
I don't think he would have scored those goals had Jose Mourinho been. No, listen, when you're setting a team up, you have to have some sort of organisation and players have to have some sort of discipline.
Yeah.
But Jose Mourinho took that too far. When you have a player like Pogba, you give him a couple of little things that he has to do, and after that you go, you know what? There's a reason why you're a World Cup winner. There's a reason why you were 100 million, because you've got a great football brain. When you see things, then you go and do what you do. That's what he's doing right now. He doesn't feel any pressure about, oh, can I go in the box, or do I have to sit, or do I have to go? Now he's just playing.
Yeah.
No, sorry, no, I get that, but it doesn't take away from the fact that United that he's flat trap bullied three teams that have been there for the taking, right? So,
but he hadn't done that early in the season against some other bad teams.
On the odd time he did, and then you had games like at Southampton away where he was wretched.
Well, half the time he wasn't even playing.
Absolutely wretched. But you know, look, this is not a discussion about is Paul Pogba a very good player. Of course he is. It's a discussion about is all of a sudden the worm turned because they've played against these 3 games. And I think they've got Tottenham coming up amongst 1 or 2 other teams, some bigger games. And then we're going to find out a little bit more about what he's going to bring to this United team.
Paolo, what's your take? Did Pogba's last 3 games somewhat expose Jose Mourinho?
I don't know if they exposed Jose Mourinho. They certainly sort of highlighted something that we suspected as long as Mourinho was there, which is that Pogba wasn't happy under him and didn't feel like he was expressing himself as freely as he did. I mean, what's interesting about Mourinho is he's a very precise coach when it comes to the defensive setup, but he's not actually like Antonio Conte, for instance, a manager who, with the attacking movements, is sort of very rigid. It says, you know, you go here, and we have like a set move that we work 10 times over in training to make sure we get it exactly right. He actually does allow his attacking players a bit more freedom, but you could see with Pogba, I think he still weighed the responsibility of the defensive duties that Mourinho put in him, making sure you're always getting back, making sure you're always being responsible in midfield a bit more heavily, to me, it feels like, than he has so far under Solskjaer. And under Solskjaer, he's just felt free to express himself. I think he's just felt free to play his game, and clearly he's a confidence player. Clearly he has played in these 3 games against, you know, not the highest standard of opposition he's going to face in the Premier League. But I do think there's just a lot of, I don't know, the sort of personal feeling of freedom and liberation that you can see in him, which I think will stand him in good stead in the Tottenham game and others as well.
You know, I think they, just briefly, well, not briefly, because we've got loads of time.
Oh, you've decided.
It's New Year's Day.
It's New Year. It's slim pickings. The results pretty much went the way we expected today, so we got time. I think the most important thing for Pogba and United is not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for me. It's Mike Phelan.
Right.
It's Mike Phelan who was, some say David Moyes should have kept him, but was a long-time lieutenant for Sir Alex Ferguson, was a player there. It's not just about coaching, but it's about understanding the players, and something that they had a problem with clearly under Mourinho. You saw him out talking to Pogba and others during the game. He's a great shoulder to lean on for Solskjaer, and I think more than Solskjaer coming in himself, I think that's been the most important recruitment, has been bringing back Mike Phelan to both help the manager and help the players on the field.